Here they come. Bag's full. Here they come, here they come. This place gives me the Whew. It's over. Looking good. I'm glad that's over. Well, at least that's over. hell's that? Huh? You ain't so tough. Oh. Yeah, you ain't so bad. Oh, no more room.
Yay, you're back. Alright, let's see what you've got. Bye.
Oh, traveler. Be safe out there.
Howdy! What you need? I'll warn you, once you try a bite, you'll want more. Well, you take care now. Howdy! What you need? Questions? I reckon I've got a few answers. You'll like this one. So, I gotten separated from the Crazy Eight. My gang, you see. We've been chased by these big old deadwood, taller than a man with 10 times as many pointy bits. Whew, nasty fellers. The others, they holed up in this old scrap building and slammed the door. Left me for dead. There was no way in, but there were these old pipes underground. Sewage, judging by the stink. But I weren't gonna stay out there with deadwood creeping round, so I held my breath and crawled through what must have been half a mile. I come busting out of the pipes and right into the middle of the Crazy Eight. They were holding me a funeral. I stand up, covered in mud and God knows what else, and just smile at them. And that, friend, is where I got the name Mudtooth. You'll like this one. There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? It don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is also, No, I'm awake. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center, and he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Oh, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this earth of ours is just one door in a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world. This one's 100% true. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man, smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Ho, 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 ho! Here's a good one. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary. Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they'd hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. Talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Huh. Never really thought about it till now. Let me see here. Ah, you met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but not in a mudder way. He just ain't right. Talks to the root, he says. I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but I was there at his birth. Don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first, but it's true. That boy Wally was born under a blood moon. Always strange, they say. Harbinger of changeification and whatnot. I heard him cry out his first breath I did, and I says to myself, that ain't natural. Like the squall of some blackbird. Caw-caw! Oh, don't tell him I said it. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Or maybe he would, come to think of it. You talked to him yet? Boy ain't right. Let me see here. Ho! I ever tell you how the world fell in the first place? Well, sit down, friend, 'cause there ain't no one knows what really happened but me. It started in them wards, see? Secret military industrial complexes and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did their experiments. Now, the root, see, it wasn't meant to, weren't meant to. Now, the root weren't meant to reproduce, see? They was built as a weapon, but then they done breeded and got out. And well, we all know what happened after that. Only reason the root stopped was 'cause the Wanderer, well, he flamethrower-sized their queen, see? Over in that tower on the atoll, so's they couldn't breed no more. Now, listen. You might hear Ford tell you something different, but you look at the two of us and ask which has obviously been around longer. Which of us is most like to have been there, huh? You ask yourself that, and then you just look my way, 'cause that's who it is. Here's a good one. So I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? Folks were holed up in the basement, trapped there for God knows how long. But the root had found those folks same time we did. Now the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail. Literally a-biting and a-chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them, with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go, Mudtooth. Name stuck ever since. Don't think I told you this one yet. You want to know the truth about young Bo over there? To start off with, the boy ain't all that young. I mean, sure, he ain't nothing to old Mudtooth, but ain't a lot of folks around who remember him as a boy no more. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. Bo Ward, he made a deal with the Wanderer. Don't believe me? It was Bo who met the Wanderer at Old Ward 10 and 3. And it was Bo who took him over to that Ward goose egg, the one where the root started. And he won't admit it, but it was Bo what rescued Clementine and shut the door on the dead wood for good. The boy's more than he tells, and a good deal more than he knows. Why else would folks around here put him in charge of everything? Ho, 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 ho! Here's a good one. Back when the earth fell, a dragon, a real root dragon, took up residence over there, just like in old fairy tales. It started in them wards, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them experiments. And just like those tales, it took a what now? It took a night to slay this dragon. Oh, ho, ho, but the dragon was crafty, all right. He knew the knight needed help, so the dragon gave it to him. Yep, the dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay that dragon, they'd have to slay all these other beasts first. A cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong for the knight. And it took him, body and mind, and made their strength its own. You won't believe this one, but you should. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. But this king, he got his, people together to... Right, I was saying, the Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the dead wood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! Ain't no one on this planet more beautiful or dangerous than the Moth Queen. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off in, that direction. Folks say if you climb one of these here towers on a clear night, you can see the swamp lights a-flashing. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. Anyways, the Moth Queen draws her folk to her like a... well, like a moth, I guess. That's how the saying goes. Anyway, she captures folks with her beauty and her mothy pulchritude. And she never lets them go. She infects their mind so they never want to leave. And she turns them into something else. If you head off that way, keep your wits about you. 'Cause that swamp used to be a city as big as this'n. But no more. No more. Here, right good listen, tater friend. Tell you what, though, I'm a little light on the stories right now, but you look like you could use yourself some company. I got just the cure for that. And I ain't talking about my stew this time. Take this and check back with me later. I'm sure I'll have some newly remembered stories for you then. Couldn't resist, could you? Be sure to come back for some stew.
Don't suppose you've seen Clementine yet, have you?
Wait, for real? Folks around here have been worried sick about her. Well, don't just stand there gawking. Where is she?
What? You sound like you've been drinking too much of Mudtooth's tonic. You know that, right? All right, well, is she coming back? So long as she's all right, I guess. I mean, I barely knew her. But she seemed like she could make her own choices just fine. So now that you found her, does that mean you're here to stay? I'm sorry. I just can't believe all those words were put into the same sentence, or that I even understood some of it. Our lives got pretty weird, huh? I guess we were asking for it, looking for fairy tales and all. Well, I ain't going nowhere then. I'll be here when you need me, or when you're done, whichever comes first. Just make sure you come back, okay?
Summons me from my ethereal wanderings.
Muzar. What kind of beast is this? Paxel tech. I can share my wanderings with you. But first, I seek the knowing, the truth of nature held within your ark. You want to answer? So I will ask. Answer these questions true, sweet beast. so that your arc may be known and your eye may open. And do choose wisely. Answer from your heart. A powerful and determined warlord is about to set fire to a crowded ziggurat. You have his eldest son in your custody. You could stop the warlord by hurting his son, breaking his arm, and threatening to do worse unless the warlord relents and gives himself up. Do you torture your hostage, or let the crowd fend for itself in the fire? I see. The Krell King comes to you for a boon. A twisted fruit that will slay his enemies. By giving him this, you will end a war that has lasted many years, but you will sentence another to certain death. Do you give the king the means to kill his enemies, or do you send them away and risk war?
Oh, what fun this is!
Your village suffers from a terrible goon. He beats those weaker than he until they can no longer stand. All who have tried to reason with him have ended up the same way. Do you aid the victims or attempt to destroy the goon? You cannot do both. I see. Imagine you are the immortal Empress, but the secret of your immortality, and the immortality of all who pledge fealty to you, is gone. The Thane is dead, and soon, all who are immortal will become mortal again. If you reveal this, you risk the loss of all your power. Do you tell your people the truth, or do you try to find another way?
What fun this is!
Your family are starving. One day, you are out foraging for food when a huge sack of coin falls off the back of a cart. This would be a great boon to your family, but the money belongs to someone else. You have but only a moment to call out and return the coin. Do you keep the money, or call out and return it to its owner? I see. You have chosen your path, sweet beast. Your heart is true. May the power of the doe's eye free you from your incarnate shackles. In the arc of every being, there are two eyes. We may see out of either, but most favor one over the other. The Ravager's eye is dynamic, driven, and endlessly hungry. Yet for all its power, its vision is clouded. The eye of the Ravager rarely sees beyond its own satiation. Like an animal chasing its tail, it knows no rest. The doe's eye sees only what is before it. The gift of the doe is subtle, easily missed. It is a most mysterious presence inside oneself, conferring power without force, just as the doe itself cannot be sought, nor tracked, nor hunted. By answering true, sweet beast, you give me a wink, and now the gifts of your dominant eye will be open to you. Would you care to hear a tale? It is about those who see as you do. I will tell you of Ramaril, the servant child of the Vaunt. I found Ramaril as a babe, large and angry as only a hungry babe can be. Nothing became of him as it happened. He grew from a great, crying babe to a great, quiet Pan. He served without word or complaint. None knew his name, for though one might thank the creator of a meal or a washroom, who even considers the child who merely cleans up after? When the Krell came, They laid siege to the temple. None could escape nor call for help. All were doomed. The doe's eye opened in Ramaril that day. He was no fighter and had no training of any kind. But he lifted the largest shield he could find and told the others to run once he'd made away. He drove dozens of Krell over a cliff, and himself with them. Later, his masters came to me seeking to know more of this boy who had saved them, whom I had laid at their doorstep. I told them many stories. One might even consider them true. Before we go any further, I must ask. I sense you carrying something. Something that belonged to my sister. That ring. Why do you have it? It is my sister's ring. This can only mean one thing. You killed her. Ah, the mortal misunderstands. What you destroyed was not my sister, not as I knew her. The root had consumed her. She suffered in that form. You have freed her on behalf of all of my sisters. Thank you. Keep her ring and treasure it with our gratitude. Oh, it has been long since I felt this. Relief. Dare I say joy? Now, what can I do for you? May the doe's eye stay ever open and your steps ever flee.